The Galactic Assembly Hall stretched across 3 kilometers of polished obsidian, its vaulted ceiling displaying a real-time map of the known universe. Representatives from 47 species occupied their designated platforms, each hovering at precisely calculated heights to accommodate their unique physiologies. The air hummed with translation matrices, converting thousands of linguistic patterns into comprehensible thought streams. Ambassador Thexnor of the Krillian Dominion stood at the central podium, his 6 arms gesticulating wildly as he delivered his petition. The Krillians were a warrior race, their exoskeletons decorated with the bones of conquered enemies. For 3 centuries, they had dominated the Outer Rim territories through brutal efficiency and calculated violence. The human expansion must be contained, Thexnor's voice boomed through the chamber. They spread like parasites, consuming resources without regard for established territorial agreements. In the human delegation area, Ambassador Maria Torres maintained her composure, though her jaw tightened. Beside her stood Commander James Mitchell, his military uniform crisp despite the 18-hour journey through hyperspace. And between them, partially hidden by the adults, was Maya, Maria's 8-year-old daughter. The child shouldn't have been there. Maria knew it. But the childcare facility on Station Kepler 7 had experienced a catastrophic pressure failure, and leaving Maya alone in their quarters wasn't an option. The girl had promised to stay quiet, to remain invisible. Thexnor continued his tirade, his compound eyes gleaming with contempt. Humans are weak. Fragile. They have no business in galactic affairs. As the Krillian ambassador descended from the podium, he passed the human platform. Maya, curious and unaware of the political tensions crackling through the air, leaned forward to get a better view of the alien's crystalline exoskeleton. She stumbled. In an instant, Thexnor's primary arm shot out, shoving the child backward with enough force to send her sprawling across the platform. Maya's head struck the edge of a metal support beam with a sickening crack. She crumpled, unconscious, blood pooling beneath her small frame. The assembly fell silent. Maria dropped to her knees beside her daughter, her diplomatic training evaporating in the face of maternal terror. Maya. Someone get medical. Commander Mitchell's face had gone pale, but his eyes burned with something cold and calculated. His hand moved to his wrist communicator, but before he could speak, the hall's main doors exploded inward. They came through like a tidal wave of controlled fury. The human expeditionary guard had been stationed outside, as protocol demanded. But they had been listening. And among humans, there existed an unwritten law that transcended politics, treaties, and diplomatic immunity: you don't touch the children. Captain Alexei Volkov led the charge, his plasma rifle already charged. Behind him, 27 soldiers moved with synchronized precision. They had trained for hostage situations, for evacuations, for defensive operations. But this wasn't any of those things. This was judgment. Stand down. The Assembly Chancellor's voice crackled through the speakers, but no one was listening anymore. Thexnor turned, his arrogance finally cracking into something resembling fear. You dare violate Assembly protocol? I have diplomatic immunity. Immunity? Volkov's voice was quiet, almost conversational. He raised his rifle. That expired the moment you touched her. The shot was surgical. Thexnor's head separated from his thorax in a spray of green ichor, the edges cauterized instantly by the plasma blast. The severed head hit the obsidian floor and rolled, coming to rest at the feet of the Xanthian delegate, who stepped back in shock. The other Krillian guards reached for their weapons, but they were too slow. The human guard had already surrounded them, rifles trained with unwavering precision. Anyone else? Volkov asked, his gaze sweeping the assembly. Silence. Behind him, medical personnel rushed to Maya's side. Maria cradled her daughter as the scanners worked, tears streaming down her face. The girl's vital signs were weak but stable. The Chancellor finally found his voice. This is an act of war. The consequences will be worth it, Commander Mitchell interrupted, his voice carrying across the hall. Humanity has one rule you all need to understand. We'll negotiate trade. We'll compromise on territory. We'll even tolerate your insults. He paused, his eyes hard as diamonds. But harm our children, and there is no law we won't break, no treaty we won't burn, and no enemy we won't face. The message was clear. And the galaxy learned to listen.